What's up, everybody, and welcome to NXT with Najee, a part of the Wrestling Heroes and Insiders podcast, aka The Whip Show. Can you believe it, y'all? We have made it to a whole entire year. That's 365 days of NXT with Najee, 30 episodes. Who would have thought, right? I was just sitting in a completely different house a year ago, just talking about the sport that I love, talking about the show that I love, and wow, we've been to Royal Rumble, we've been to WrestleMania, we've worked SummerSlam now. Like, who would have thought? Who would have thought? Now, I know I promised everybody a couple weeks ago that I would have a big special guest for my 1 year anniversary, and I did not disappoint, ladies and gentlemen. Had to clear my throat because this introduction needs to be right. Ladies and gentlemen, our guest for the 1 year anniversary is Trick James himself, champion, NXT champion, Trick Williams. How you doing, my dog? How you doing?
Yo, what's good, my dog? Najee, it's good to be here, brother. Merry Christmas to you.
Hey, Merry Christmas to you too, man. Merry Christmas. How's everything treating you out there?
Man, I'm blessed, man. I'm back with my family in South Carolina. You know what I mean? Getting ready for a show tomorrow. And man, I'm ready to put it down, man.
Okay. That's right, man. It's been a crazy year for you so far, huh?
Bro, man, probably the best year of my life, man. Thank you, God. Thank you to a lot of people who've been in my corner, who helped me and supported me. But yeah, man, 2024 has been great. I'm ready for 2025.
Yeah, man, 2024. What a year. So, first of all, I want to say thank you so much for agreeing to hop on the show and speak with me. You're my first superstar I've ever had on the show. It's kind of crazy.
Hey, man, this is personal because you are a good dude, man, and I've known you for a little minute. So, man, I'm glad, I'm honored I could be the first superstar to be on your podcast, of course.
Man, thank you so much. Yeah, it's been incredible just actually meeting you in person and hanging out with you and working on a couple projects that we've tried to work through together as well. But like with 2024 being so crazy and such a hectic and such a big year for you, what's been driving you through this year? Like, what's been keeping you motivated to keep going with all the success?
Man, honestly, just being ambitious, just knowing that I haven't arrived yet. And as far as NXT goes, man, look, it's been going great. I have the NXT Championship, even though Eddie Thorpe tried to, finagle his way and take it from me.
Yeah.
But I got the NXT Championship twice this year, and it's been, like I said, probably the best year, of my life if I'm talking about, work. But I still have so much further to go, man. Like, I mean, the dream is to headline WrestleMania, and not just once, multiple times. So by no means can I just lay down and rest and think that I've arrived. I'm not there yet, and I'm ready to put the work in and get there.
That's right, man. That's right. But you're also very busy. I mean, you're in video games now. You're doing a ton of media, and you got your own action figure. I know you said you haven't quite arrived yet, but do you ever you feel like you're starting to make it, or like, dang, I made it, man, I did it?
Man, it's kind of a surreal moment. And it's kind of crazy to me because you kind of get in this groove where when you're working, you start to expect things. And then it takes moments like this when you get to come see your family. And, my mom says, I'm proud of you. Or my brother, he shows so much support and love to me. He has my action figure up in his house. I'm like, man, it kind of brings you back down because we're on the go, man, so much. And of course, like I said, these are the things that we wanted to happen. This is why we pursue wrestling. This is why we pursue becoming a superstar. And things start to happen, but it's good to bring it back to reality, bring it back to your roots, man. I'm in South Carolina having a good time.
I love it, man. I love it. So speaking of how certain things are starting to feel and the different things that have happened to you, like you said earlier, you've won the big one now twice, 2 times. That's why we call you Tricky 2 times now in the crowd. It's amazing, man. How did it feel winning your first title and your second one? Because you got to win it in front of us on the first one at spring breaking, and then the second one, you got to win in front of a larger crowd. Like, what was the difference between both of those victories?
Man, let's talk about it.
Let's talk about it.
That we spoke about, man, I'm pretty sure there's a picture with, first and first, the crowd was just electric. The building was literally shaking when I defeated Ilya Dragunov and won the NXT Championship the first time.
That was it.
And you were there. And I'm pretty sure there's a picture of me being held up by you and the lights right there in the crowd. And that feeling, wow. Like, that's why I wanted to become a WWE superstar right there. Like, when I was a kid, I used to watch people like The Rock, like Stone Cold Steve Austin, and Booker T and Shawn Michaels. And I would see all these great moments that they had. And I was like, man, how great would it be to tell my own story and get in there and make people feel something that's irreplaceable. And that night that I won that first NXT championship, I mean, you was there too. I think that was one of those moments that would always be remembered in NXT. Like, hey, the building's never shut like this before.
Never.
Hey, and I'm proud of that, man. You know what I mean? It's because of y'all. Is man, the energy in there was just crazy. And yeah, shout out to Ilya Dragunov for being, the perfect guy to bring out the best in me. I'm forever grateful for him.
Yes, man. The work that you guys did together was amazing, brother. Amazing.
Yeah, man. I'm wishing him a speedy recovery.
Me too, man.
Next, the premiere of CW in Chicago. My first time in Chicago, first time, trying a deep dish pizza, and Ethan Page was my opponent. And yeah, man, I think it's the rightful, ending to that story where Ethan Page came to NXT. He was a surprise. He came in and he jumped me one week. The next week, he had a title match. Then we had a fatal four-way, which he kind of snuck the title off me.
Yeah, some shiesty stuff.
He fell into the greatest moment of his life, And so us going to Chicago that time was just kind of, finally me getting my retaliation on what Ethan Page had done to me, which was a great moment. That was my first time in Chicago. Chicago was awesome. The people were so loud out there, and CM Punk was there. And it was just a good time as well. It was different than the first one, but I think both of them are very historic and monumental in my career.
Yeah. Now, speaking of your career, a lot of people know that you did, you were in the NFL briefly before you came to WWE, and you have a background in football. Now, when it comes to being a champion, it takes a lot of hard work, takes a lot of discipline. Now, do you feel that football helped you with that discipline of being able to jump into a sport of wrestling and kind of be able to just grab it and run with it?
Yeah, definitely. And it's crazy. Even with, making it to the NFL, with the Philadelphia Eagles and getting cut, shortly thereafter. Man, Najee, I ain't gonna lie. The amount of hours and work that I put in the game of football is sickening.
Mm-hmm.
Be hours every single day, three a days. You know what I mean? Literally just eating in between workouts. Not even knowing what I was really doing to myself. I was probably hurting myself more than I was helping myself just by how locked in and laser focused I was on making it to the NFL, which was my first dream. And I'm just grateful, and I just don't feel like God makes mistakes.
No, absolutely not.
All that sweat equity that I put in football, I had a great time. I played for the University of South Carolina, tasted the NFL, but didn't really end the way I wanted it to end. And then finally get an opportunity hey, maybe you can become a WWE superstar, which at the time I never thought about. I was a fan of it, but I never thought about myself actually pursuing it. So, I just think everything that I learned from all that hard work I put in, from walking on to the NFL and doing all these different things, definitely prepared me for everything that this business has, which is being mentally tough, which is being ready for criticism. Najee, I walked on to the University of South Carolina. What that means is you weren't invited.
Mm-hmm. You got to earn.
They wanted out of high school, and I went to Hampton University. And then me being the ambitious man that I am, knowing, hey, it's my goal to play the best football so I can be in position to move to the next level, being the NFL, I might need to make a move right now and walk on to the University of South Carolina. And, I don't think I really ever told this story, barely. But, man, when I made that decision to leave a scholarship at Hampton University and walk on to the University of South Carolina, there's probably 150 some odd people trying to make the team at the University of South Carolina. Mind you, they was number 4 in the nation at the time. And, I walked in that room with my chest up and I told that coach, I'm coming here to play wide receiver. I had a suit and tie. I wasn't even at the school yet. I was just purely faith and knew what I wanted out of life. When I walked in there, man, we tried out probably 150. They narrowed it down to 20 people. Then they narrowed it down to 8. And I was one of those 8. And the crazy thing is, like, I remember, I think of my mom, she said, hey, no, I'm proud of you. No, what are you going to do if they don't select you to be on the team this year? I said, then I'll try out next year. Like, it was that simple. Like, there wasn't plan B.
That's right.
And I just think that's so important with anything. When you lock in and you put your feet in the ground and say, hey, this is what I'm going to do, it doesn't matter how long it takes. Like, and I think I really learned that, that leap of faith through football. And with wrestling, it's just, man, all that sweat equity, everything I put in. I'm so grateful, man, that it's working out.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, it's crazy too. It came around full circle. You said you got down to the last 8, and then wasn't your number with the Eagles 8?
And wow.
Isn't that crazy?
Wow.
That's full circle right there.
Man, we got to put that in the book. That
Yeah.
was good. That was good. One number 8 with the Eagles. You're right.
That's
And
crazy how that came around.
they narrowed it down. And that's crazy. I never put that together.
Hey, look at
And
that.
God worked
So
his
kind
way.
of segueing off of that, what's your advice to those out there that might be having issues with motivation and staying disciplined and even just getting themselves to that mind state, kind of like how you had, like, hey, this is what I want to do, and nothing's gonna stop me from doing that. What's some advice do you have to those people that struggle in that area?
Yeah. I would say, remember why you started. Like, I mean, like kids, they have this faith, just overwhelming of, hey, they're going to do what they love to do regardless. And it's not too deep. It's not like, oh, it's about the money. It's about this. It's about that. It's because they genuinely love what it is that they want to do. And I'll never forget. I played football for a long time, mind you. But
I'm still playing now, man.
you still, hey, I had my first match at an indie school up in Philadelphia, pursuing it. And when I say I never felt a rush like I did in front of those 15 people
Mm.
in Philadelphia, I'm talking about didn't sleep the night after, like just running the promo back through my head, talk about the match and how people went crazy during this part. And I remember the man told me, he said, hey, congratulations on your first match. Never forget what this feeling feels like because you're going to need to remember this, other parts of your career. And I mean, that really stuck with me because, that's what the dream was all about right there. Like, can I do it? All right, yes, you can do it. But you
And what
don't
you
know
gonna do with it?
what you're going to do with it. And when we agree that we're going to do something, we don't see all the BS that's on the other side of it. The politics that might be with it, all the haters that come with it. Man, I know when I got this NXT championship, how much critique, how many eyes. I thought the eyes was coming to love me. No, the eyes is coming to judge me in every single move that I make. I didn't realize that. I thought it was, oh, we all love Trick Williams. Man, the more love you get, the more people who hate you.
Yep.
Now, if you're doing this purely for the fans and purely to be loved and admired, you're in this for the wrong reason. I know, man, I'm doing this because this is what I love to do. And man, I get to make a difference, man. I get to give kids hope. I get to give people an escape from their everyday life. And I enjoy what I do. But I'm not doing it, to please anybody. I'm doing this because it's what I love to do. And if you rock with Trick Williams, cool. And if you don't, then you probably will later. And that's cool
That's
with you.
right. That's right. Talk to him.
I mean, that's my advice. You know what I mean? Remember why you started.
And that's great advice. And that goes to show you that once you put your heart to something, put your mind to something, great things come out of it. Great things manifest. And speaking of that, we gonna slide into the whoop that trick chant. That's
Oh,
so let's talk about that now. So I
oh,
think it was about like maybe 2 years ago going on it to where you came out on SmackDown. You came out as a surprise. And when I say that might have been the biggest pop that SmackDown had the whole year, I'm not even joking. Almost every place that I go to, the live shows for WWE and NXT, it's whoop that trick chance everywhere. How does that make you feel knowing that the main roster is right there? You're that close. We know it's coming. We seen you. We seen you in the commercial.
Look, I don't know who told who to put me in that commercial, but but no, man, the whoop that trick. Like I said, man, I know you're in the NXT arena, and shoot, I don't know how it really just got going crazy like that. I mean, I remember 3 years ago when I was still working with Mello,
Mhm.
and when it was Mello's theme song being played, and people were still chanting "Whoop that trick," and you can just hear it. You know what I mean? It wasn't the overwhelming thing that it is now, but you hear people chanting "Whoop that trick, whoop that trick."
You
Of
know who
course,
started that, right?
who's that?
Jay, John, and his people.
Hey, but shout out to everybody involved.
Hmm.
Because look what it's done now. You know, I would say that we didn't know like the impact that it was going to do now. Like you said, I didn't start that. I didn't tell
Hmm.
anybody to chant "Whoop that trick." I was just being me, and I didn't even know at first that it was for me. I thought, hey, whoop that trick. Like I know I seen Hustle and Flow, but I didn't know, exactly what that was about. So, to fast forward to where it is today, man, I'm extremely grateful and blessed that what that trick has done, everything is done.
Man, I can't wait for you to be at WrestleMania and to hear a stadium full of 70,000, 80,000 people just whoop that trick. Wow. Like, it's gonna be great. Gonna be
Yeah.
incredible, man. Now, all right. So next question, we're gonna slide right into today, what's happening right now with you. So coming up soon, you have probably the biggest match of your career so far, at least in my personal opinion. You taking on Oba Femi. Now,
Right.
Oba is a different kind of beast all on its own. And what are you doing to mentally prepare and to physically prepare for somebody like Oba? Like, granted, you Trick James. We ain't too worried around this way.
I
But
am true. And the fact still remains that I am the NXT champion
that's right.
and I'm not chasing Oba. Oba is chasing me. But at the same time, I'm not blind, deaf, or stupid. Oba is the real deal. You know what I mean? Like, man, this dude's 6'5", 300 pounds plus, and he's a monster. He's completely annihilated the NXT division in a way that I'm not sure that we've really seen before, previous to him. So, as much as I respect his game, I'm excited for the opportunity because this is the feud that I needed all along. This is the one that I needed to stamp my name in the history books of NXT for the right reason. Like, hey, this title run is what Trick Williams is. It explains who he is. I needed a monster to slay. That David and Goliath. I needed that to prove who I am and exactly what I stand on. And Oba is the guy, man. He's great. You know what I mean? But that don't change nothing my way. I'm batting down for no man, no challenge. Like I just told you the type of stuff, how I was moving on before. I walked on to the number 4 school in the nation and was starting as soon as I was eligible. Like, man, that's what I do. I'm a giant slayer. I get in the ring and I do what I do. And everybody knows that. So Moto Moto himself, Obafemi, don't stand no chance with Trick Williams. Let's talk about
All right, you gonna show them who the real ruler is.
it. I'm the who.
Ooh. All right, man. All right. So y'all are it. Y'all are the future. Y'all are it right now for NXT. I mean the present, not the future necessarily. But when we talk about the future and you're in that locker room, you are the locker room leader. You are the man at NXT. I know you got your eyes open. I know you see the people working in the background. Who right now in that NXT locker room, the new guys that has your eye? Who is the one that's got Trick Williams going? Ooh, he's gonna be something right there.
That's a good question. There's a few guys who I think are special. I think Malik Blade. Uh, I don't
The
think he's
freak.
Malik the Freak. Super freaky, y'all.
Hey.
you know, I think he's one of the guys who's yet to show what he's truly capable of, in the NXT locker room. And man, I ain't gonna lie to you, Najee, there's probably a group of guys, probably about 30 deep, athletic, have a look, have charisma, and they all are right here. And literally just waiting as soon as one of them steps up, like the rocket can be strapped and NXT has another superstar in a matter of time just like that. But it's hard to say which one it is because I just don't know who wants it the most. You
Hmm.
know what I mean? But I do feel like Malik Blade is a guy who's putting the work in for a very long time. I'd like to see him get a shot. Um, and for the rest, man, it's just too many to name. Like I think a lot of them got potential. I just don't know which one's going to break out and be the guy to carry a brand like NXT.
Mhm.
So that's a tough question, man. It really is.
All right. Well, that leads me into my last question for you, actually. Now that we've kind of discussed and you see that those guys are right there for the future, what is your advice to help them get to that next step and be able to comfortably have that rocket strapped to their back?
Man, I think the best thing you can do is separate yourself. And by separating yourself, I think you have to find out what it is that you do better than everybody else. And once you figure out what it is that you do better than everybody else, make sure that nobody can touch you. I had a coach who told me that in football. He's like, hey, Trick, if you are the big time jump ball receiver, then be the big time jump ball receiver. And yes, you can work on being a route runner. You can work on your blocking. You can work on all these different things. But when it comes to jump balls, and we need a jump ball in the game, you need to be the one to come down with it. And if somebody else can outdo you with the jump balls, and they also can run better routes than you, then we don't need you no more.
Mhm.
So, the way to make yourself very valuable is being absolutely undeniable in something that you do. And then work on everything else too. So, I mean, if there's someone out there who I think wants to separate themselves, that's how you separate yourself. You have to be amazing and make sure that you stick out one way, and then the rest of your game gonna follow.
Yeah, that's right. Now you heard it here first, NXT locker room, right out of Trick Willy Wonka's mouth. You gotta stand out. Gotta
Hey,
stand out. You gotta be different, man. But hey, thank you so much for taking the time during the holidays to chat with me, brother. Hey, it's all love, it's all respect. We rooting for you and we riding for you, man. So thank you so much for taking the time.
hey, man, thank you for having me. I'm honored to be the first superstar on your show, and I wish you massive loads of success in your near future, my brother.
Hey, thank you, man. And I wish nothing but the best for you too, brother. I can't wait to sit there in them stands one day at WrestleMania and see you holding up a title, brother. It's happening. Ain't no
Yeah,
way it's not.
in due time.
That's right, sir. All right, man. Well, hey, happy holidays to you and yours. It's been real out here. This is NXT with Najee. That's Trick Williams. Can you believe it? We did
Tricky
that.
2 times. Make sure you say it 2 times. Let's talk about it.
2 times. Let's talk about it. All right, y'all. It's been real. This is NXT with Najee. You're part of the Wrestling Heroes and Insiders podcast. See you.